Over 30,000 people moved to Florida from New York and New Jersey last year alone, and one of the top destinations for relocating families is right here in St. Johns County. But here's the thing, even though they're coming for the sunshine and lifestyle, there are a few big surprises that hit once the moving trucks roll out and reality sets in. Some good, some challenging, but all worth knowing before you make the move. So today we're digging into what surprises Northeasterners the most after moving to St. Johns County. If you're seeing my videos for the first time, my name is Josh Rogers and I'm a real estate agent based here in St. Johns County. And for the past 15 years, my team and I have helped hundreds of families relocate, many of them from the Northeast. So in this video, I'm sharing what those families tell me after they've settled in, the surprises, the shifts, and the things they wish they'd known earlier. If you're thinking about making a move to Florida, especially to St. Johns County, I'd love to invite you to join my private Facebook group. It's full of people just like you, asking questions, connecting with other families, and sharing real-life experiences of moving and living here. All right, let's get into it. Let's start with the vibe. One of the biggest shocks for people coming from the Northeast is just how much slower everything moves. And I don't mean lazy or inefficient, I mean intentional. You'll notice it in the way people drive, how strangers talk to each other in line, even how early things start to wind down in the evening. For people used to hustle, gridlock, and packed schedules, it takes some getting used to. But after a few months, most families tell me they actually love it. It's calmer. People seem more present, and the pressure to keep up just kind of fades. Once you settle into the rhythm, you'll find it brings a whole new level of peace to your day. Now let's talk about something that draws a lot of families here to begin with. Schools. A lot of families move to St. Johns County for the schools. And yes, it's true, this is the highest rated school district in Florida year after year. But what surprises many is how deeply the community is involved. Parents volunteer, schools host real deal events. There's pride here. What's also surprising is how modern and well kept most school buildings are, even the public ones. Of course, each school has its own vibe, but the county as a whole takes education seriously, and that's something newcomers quickly appreciate. It's one thing to read about school rankings online, but it's another to experience the energy and community firsthand. And speaking of things you can't always read about online, let's talk about Florida weather. Here's a funny one. People expect the weather to be hot, but they're not always prepared for the humidity. That sticky Florida air hits differently than a dry summer in Boston or Philly. And then there are the bugs. Love bugs, mosquitoes, palmetto bugs, things Northeasterners just don't deal with. Storms are another reality. While we haven't had a direct hit in St. Johns County in a long time, it's hurricane country, and people are often surprised by how quickly locals take prep seriously. But the sunshine, that part never gets old. Almost every transplant tells me the consistent sun lifts their mood and energy. So while it takes some adjusting, the Florida climate really does grow on you once you learn to live with it. Now let's look at something that hits closer to your wallet, the cost of living. This one depends on where you're coming from. If you're leaving New York, Connecticut, or Massachusetts, chances are housing here feels like a steal, especially when you factor in no state income tax. But insurance and property taxes can catch some folks off guard. Also, St. Johns County is a bit more suburban, so you might be driving more than you're used to. That means budgeting for gas and time. On the flip side, your quality of life often improves. People here invest in their homes because they actually use them. Backyard barbecues, neighborhood bike rides, that kind of thing. In the end, it's less about spending less and more about spending on what actually matters to you. Next, let's look at a cultural shift that takes many families by surprise, the emphasis on family life. Northeastern cities are known for energy and culture, but many of them aren't exactly kid-friendly. In contrast, St. Johns County is all about families. You'll find parks in every neighborhood, tons of kid-focused events, sports leagues, splash pads, and even community movie nights. What surprises a lot of newcomers is how easy it is to meet other parents, how many neighborhood groups exist, and how many restaurants and businesses are built with families in mind. It's not just suburban, it's intentional. And when you're raising kids, that kind of community support makes a huge difference. And while we're on the topic of community, if you're in that research phase right now, wondering what it's actually like to live here, I'd love for you to join my Facebook group. It's a place where you can connect with families who've already made the move, ask honest questions, and see the lifestyle through real conversations and stories. It's one of the best resources you'll find for getting a true feel for the area. The link is in the description box below. Now let's get back into the video. There are little things that don't seem like a big deal until you move, like needing to schedule pest control regularly, figuring out how to work the irrigation system, and realizing your lawn grows year-round here, or how every neighborhood has its own HOA vibe with different rules about paint colors, fencing, or even mailbox styles. These are the small adjustments that Northeasterners don't always expect, but end up figuring out quickly once they settle in. The good news is there's always someone nearby willing to share advice or lend a hand. So yes, there's a learning curve, but it's one most families adapt to quickly. And as you adapt, one of the best surprises is just how kind your neighbors turn out to be. This one might sound cliche, but it's real. Neighbors wave, strangers say good morning, people actually stop to chat. And for those moving from fast-paced, keep-to-yourself cities, that level of friendliness can feel weird at first. But it's one of the reasons families feel at home here so quickly. There's a community mindset, and once you get used to it, it's hard to imagine going back. It's not forced, it's just part of the culture here, and it makes everyday life feel more connected. Now lastly, let's talk about something most people don't expect until they see it with their own eyes: the landscape. A lot of people picture Florida as flat and all beaches, and while we are near the coast, St. Johns County is more diverse than people realize. There are nature preserves, marshlands, oak-lined trails, and yes, stunning beaches, but also farmland, riverfront parks, and even equestrian communities. That means you can really choose the lifestyle that fits you. Want a beachy vibe? Got it. Prefer privacy and space? Also here. And that variety catches many newcomers off guard, in a good way. It gives you the freedom to create the life you actually want, not just the one you thought you were moving into. So if you're seriously considering making the move to St. Johns County and want someone local in your corner to help you navigate neighborhoods, schools, costs, and everything in between, shoot me a text. I help families move here every day, and I'd be honored to help you too. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.